Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this show on the road. Hope you enjoyed the opening. Hello, hey, yeah, Mr. Awesome. Wow, that's Brad. How did you let that happen? welcome, Thomas, Joe, Leo, Thomas again, Tomas, Christoph. Hello, Christoph. Hello, how are you? Tomas, TTS vlog. Wow. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome. You said you're not first, but we'll take that as well. Meg Jankov, Chris King. Hello. Hi, how are you doing, boys and girls? Bad Wars Gang. Welcome to everybody. Let's get this show on the road. I'm so sorry I'm a bit late today. That's sort of, life happens, right? I guess with no further delay, let's get into this. So I guess those of you who are holding S triple Qs and various things, hey Slime, first, well, welcome in, say hello. We'll get to the tickers later. Hold on, Rutaro. Well, we haven't seen you in a while here. Good to see you there. Sergio, rather. I should probably say Sergio. Now, Subji, Black Mamba, good to see you there, brother. All right, so before we get to the tickers, let's go over our usual stuff. We want to go over the S&P and kind of dismantle really what happened here today. And a lot of you are probably saying, well, it has begun. We don't know. It could be just one of those impulses. Remember, we're not biased to one side or the other, right? We're gonna try and objectively see what the market presents. And hello, Leah, good to see you. We're gonna try and objectively see what the market shows, and jump off of that, right? To each their own. But we're gonna simply, instead of saying, oh, this is that's it. No, first of all, we have this weird thing that most of you already know. We don't like gaps. Why? Gaps are basically chores. The market, especially when we're looking at the major indices, do have a tendency to close the gaps. They don't like gaps. We do know, and we are aware, those who do know, since I do think at this point I'm allowed. In fact, I'm testing all sorts of things in this video. Let's see if it works, it doesn't. Those of you who know, we have leftover gaps that we have had during the beginning of COVID correction. We had many of them as we were going down, closing some, and some of them actually got closed just at this end right here. So basically on the correction to the upside, and now we've generated a whole ton of them on our way up. So those who think gaps immediately close, all of them close, no, that's not the case. In fact, there is quite a consensus. Hello, Carlos. About how often these gaps close, how many of them do. What we do know, if we are objective about what we see on the daily basis, we see that even gaps, when they're left over for a day or two, yes, that happens. Most of the time, most gaps do end up getting closed, right? Again, if we're seeing the price action testing certain levels, at times it's on purpose to actually close chores, as we said, that were open from before. Hello, K, Agent K. You see, the algorithmic systems do not perceive the charts the same way we do. First of all, they do not miss a single thing. They remember all the supports and resistances. That's kind of important to point out. More so for them, they have no sentiment about the gaps as much as they just perceive them as points in the price range that were not being traded on our way up. And they don't feel any way about it, almost as if it is just perceived to be a miss, right? Something that was missed in the progress, if you will. And thus, they are magnetized to be trading these price ranges very often. If we do get out of bounds and further away from these ranges, far less likely that these will be met and closed in the short term. Then we can actually perceive, and we'll see how the market oftentimes takes, a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks even, to close these gaps. But what we do, we learn about most of them at the end of the day, they do get closed. If, for example, somebody such as myself, who will benefit by having the market correct to the downside, no secret, I'm holding right now 2,700 S triple Qs, planning to hold. I was planning actually to buy today. I kind of was busy. Didn't get to it. I'm probably planning to buy this week more triple Qs. And so I will benefit if the market will correct to the downside. But remember, we're not biased here. We're simply about how things work. So this gap already warrants us to think that potentially the market will correct to the upside. And even if we do expect an overall correction, that doesn't mean it started this very day. Yes, it could be left over. It could be a gap that we will end up sort of working our way back to it within, a week time, or whichever amount of time it will take. But let's try to figure out how long it will take us based upon the momentum and whether the market thinks we're going to close it anytime soon. Today's movement was severe. Let's call it severe. Most of you got caught off guard. In fact, I didn't think we're going to have that much of a red day, but still, let's see what the market says. Let's ignore the 1 minute because we know it's not indicative of anything and it's going to flip over many, many, many times. What here is worrying, for example, it is hard to see how we're going to close since we're running out of time. We're basically 20 minutes away from market close for today. Looking at this structure, it is very unlikely. If anything, what is more likely is for the momentum to break. Basically, we will run out of bullish momentum, and then we're going to be caught up in the air and start falling back to the ground. To put it in simple terms, bearish momentum for us. Very likely retest of this level, that is basically our longer range, or so it's appearing to be. Longer range trend, okay, something we're moving within the confines of. And of course, as you can see, we had a bit of an excessive movement here beyond the trend, right? Although we were moving downwards, we were moving in the shorter term range, which I can tell you this is very representative, pardon me for the inability to draw, this yellow and red trend, let's call it that, very representative of the structure that we actually get on the 1 minute. What we're doing while having actually two different linear regressions on the chart at the same time, it allows us to see the longer duration trend, right, the slower one, and the faster one. The faster one, basically, we perceive it in the smaller time frame based upon every time frame that we're moving. It's almost like a window into what the smaller time frame trend is actually doing. But we know that the larger trend is far more dominant, meaning this range that is far wider, slower moving, takes far more candlesticks and count to create an average, right? That linear regression with the standard deviation it has on both ends, right? And that's how we get our range. But within that range, we get another smaller range based upon the smaller indicators. I've kind of explained this many, many times. It's all very, very, very simple, really, or at least for us to use these tools, that's all we want from them. They are far more advanced and we can milk a lot more out of them, but that's for the one-on-one academy. Now, 30 minutes. 30 minutes is actually very bullish, but since we are already at the bottom of the channel, and we do know we have the inevitable psychological resistance in this instance. Why? Because it is above us. It is a simple principle. What is below us is support, what's above us is resistance. Right now, 5800 appears to be as resistance. In fact, on the 30 minutes, we can clearly see how it has been tested and rejected downwards from it. We ended up residing on this diagonal channel, as we said, right? We're expanding outwards, thus we get a far more extended channel, unsurprisingly so, because the shift over, right? Because if you think about it, that extended channel just until recently would have appeared the same way this longer duration one does, right? So you need to understand there are multiple forces working on the market at the same time. So what we are potentially seeing here is a transition from that upwards, potentially, I'm emphasizing potentially, because if we're going to correct back up to close this, it will no longer look this way, right? If we have a gap right here, which will end up retracing back our steps and closing this gap, it will no longer be below or outside the trend. In fact, it will look will be very indicative of a continuation of this longer duration trend. So we'll have to take that shorter one that creates this juncture right now that we have as with a grain of salt. It is basically temporary. We're not certain that's the case. And based upon the momentum, in fact, if we're objective about the momentum, let's make sure I didn't delete anything important. No, I have not. Based upon the momentum, based upon the fact of the matter that this is very, very bullish, straightforward, 30 minutes gives us quite a significant amount of time. I can easily see how it penetrates back in, even if just to test that 5809 or potentially 5815. Regardless of that, appears to be more bullish than bearish. In other words, giving us the ability to retrace back into the channel that is still very bullish. Okay, 45 minutes. It's a good time frame we used sort of to see the difference in between the 30 minutes and the hour, get more of an objective point of view. We see that the 30 minutes and 45 minutes basically in agreement, 30 minutes just being smaller. Oftentimes what happens is that the 45 allows us to see something that is slightly more advanced to the 30 minutes, almost like look slightly more forward, right? In this instance, we have clear agreement between the 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 30 minutes. All three are decent amount of times, because if we decent sort of time frames, because it will allow us potentially to predict a decent amount of time forward looking. Forward looking, that's an X amount of candlesticks. Actually, kind of goes backwards. We're looking from the candlesticks because we're seeing here, right, on the hourly, that we're potentially building up a bullish structure. We're not sure yet. Remember, we're in oversold territory, right? It is debatable. We are seeing 45 and 30 minutes becoming a lot more bullish, almost, again, a more granular window to what is going on. But potentially, well, it is representative very clearly of what is going on right here, but this appears to be far smaller. Basically, the stuff that we see on the smaller time frames is the more granular form of this, right? Almost as zooming in on this individual partition. Now, what we are seeing that we potentially do have, we were squeezing our way downwards. You can see we basically had a trend here to squeeze. Yes, we've done it. And now that we're in oversold territory, yes, that's part of that bearish momentum basically spilling over. But now we will have a correction, which all of you know, that's a normal phenomena in both directions, right? And we're seeing already this overturning of the bullish momentum, basically taking dominance, potentially allowing us to see how the price action easily penetrates back into the bullish trend right here, retests 58.1504, and even make it easily, from my point of view and my familiarity with what this representative of, that 58.29, and maybe even the bottom of that gap that we just opened up today. So you see, it is already in the cards how we will be closing that gap, potentially going retracing back to 58.34 potentially. We'll see. From what I'm seeing here, this is very indicative of the ability to retrace to this range right here, right? That 58.29 to maybe 58.35, right? Where the bottom of the gap is. And if we're going to find ourselves right there, I would not be surprised, potentially leading into overbought territory eventually here as we were closing the gap, giving us enough acceleration of the bullish momentum to actually get rid of the gap. So as you can tell, it is already in the cards, the closure of that gap. All right, so I wouldn't necessarily be buying with both hands as triple Q today. Today not necessarily might be the best day because it's just going to be, effing with your average. I would argue that we should be already all good and close to the position we should be holding. I know I'm kind of lagging behind. It is what it is. I'm just straightforward and honest with you guys. I can pretend that's not the case. It is. Regardless of, I'm starting to see a very clear structure of a bearish trend right here, even if we have some days a little bit more excessive than others. That does not change the fact of the matter that we're starting to see some form of a spillover, and if we're going to have a correction on this, does not mean we will not proceed and continue with the bearish trend further out after we correct on this downwards rally that we just had today. All right, let's clean everything up just a little bit so we can continue working with stuff here. Just give me a sec, right? Just a second right there. I'm just being lazy. Give me a sec, just being a bit lazy, and we're done and fixed. Good enough. We were in the 1 hour. Let's go to the 4 hours, right? Those who are confused because of all the jumping around, we were right here, right? Looking at the gap and the potential of the retracement back into the current range that we're in, basically trend. Those who are hawk-eyed noticed the 150 average, which is a 150 hours average. Let's be clear about that, not 150 days. 150 days, this is an average of the candlesticks, right? It goes by the 150 because it's set up to work well for me on the daily, which means this SMA is only relevant and applicable, and when we're talking about 150 days, it's going to be when we're going to be on the daily chart. Let's be clear about that. Alrighty. Now that we've moved over to the 4 hour, in fact, we have far clearer amplification potential. Well, look at it. Here it gets a bit sketchy. Why? Let's go over this slowly. The 4 hourly chart inherently is showing you 4 hourly candlesticks. So any process that we are preview to, in essence, will be very, very slow, because every step of the way is 4 more hours, 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 right? If you think about it, basically that's a session, well, 1.5 candles per session, right? So it's going to be rather sluggish. And at times, because we do spend an amplified amount of time, well, or rather in the overbought, oversold territories, experiencing whatever trend that actually is, or cycle that, or impulse to be more precise, that we're actually experiencing in the market right now. So let's just use our measuring tool, right? The ruler. You can either take it from here or just hold your shift button, and we can see how long does it take for the market to actually penetrate, post penetrating the body of the stochastic RSI before it actually goes into a correction, right? And again, into the body, but going negative, right? Allowing the bearish momentum to take full dominance, which gives us 17 days and 14 hours, right? Just this one little wave. So that, well, that shows us a decent chunk of time, potentially. So that means if we're right now in oversold territory, those who know what that means we're going to get an amplification of the selling element, if you will. Right now, what we're seeing is a bit of a cool-off, right? Why are we having this cool-off period is if you're going to focus real close, you're going to realize what's going on, that there's a convergence of the forces, and like it or not, as small as it is, right, the bullish momentum right now is dominant, right? And we can clearly see it post the correction, that finalized moment into oversold territory. Finally, there's a bit of a cool-off period in which you can see the bulls taking dominance, and we can see that momentum being represented in the price action. So far, so good, I hope. Now, that was a mistake. Alrighty. So we are seeing direct correlation between what is happening in the stochastic RSI to what is happening in the price action. But at the same time, we know these processes usually take longer than just what we have gone through so far. Yes, sometimes it's quick, but sometimes it's long, and sometimes it's very long, right? The indication of how prolonged this process will be for us, as you can imagine, comes from the larger time frame, right? Because if the larger time frame indicating prolonged bearish momentum, clearly that one becomes just a smaller partition, right? If we're looking at the daily, then thinking backwards at the 4 hourly, this is a smaller partition, although particularly the 4 hourly and the daily are not a good example, because they're basically the representative of almost one and the same, right? It's just that here we don't have pre and post market, so we just basically get a candlestick per day, or 1.5 if you will. And on the daily, we're getting a combined candlestick that gives us basically everything combined into the full formation. And that's why oftentimes we're missing a lot of gaps on the daily chart, because it engulfs all the price action of that entire day, and it appears to be as if the price action never generated or actually closed the gap. But what we're seeing here is something very indicative. So we are already in the body of the stochastic RSI. We never truly made our way, something I was suspecting for us to do back then when we were talking about it, right? and remain below the 80% range, right? Which does not allow us, it blocks us off from amplifying that bullish momentum and basically allowing the bearish momentum to take dominance and failing that bullish trend to break. All right. If we're objective about what happened today, the bulls were able to mitigate about 50% of the entire bearish candlestick. We'll see how it will proceed. But for right now, what we're objectively seeing is the momentum is clearly bearish. And so much. Why? We're seeing the divergence between the two forces. The larger the divergence, the more it implies the significance and the strength of whatever trend that is going on. And we know, and we've seen this before, that when we have a correction, oftentimes it's very steep and very quick, while the rallies to the upside, right, are very, very slow. We can almost see the difference between the direction of the trend, the steepness of the trends in both ends, and we actually experience it in the price market as well. If you're attentive, basically we almost deleted today in a single day what we were able to do in several days, right? Potentially. We'll see how the day will close. We're still 5 minutes away. Regardless of, this is already does not look all too healthy, and this is very much indicative of a correct continuation of a movement to the downside. Alrighty, cool stuff. Now, let's clean this up, and yeah, this looks very bearish. Remember what that means for us in the context of this. That means we're probably going to see more time that will be spent in amplifying this bearish momentum, or in other words, what would feel like an amplification, but really it stems from the daily chart and what we're actually seeing in terms of a correction, right? Same old levels, nothing will surprise us. We know right now our current level of retest will be that 57.66-ish area, right? Afterwards, we have 57.50, we know, leftover gap, 57.20 leftover gap, 56.95.94, you might as well call it, well, yeah, it's 56.95. We might as well call it actually like 57, I mean, more, so it's probably the 57 will be more of a strong force right there. We have psychological, which I almost forgot about right there. Pardon me. Alrighty. Let's lock it in, change it a little bit, just so we're going to be on the dot right there. All right. That should be purple. That's how I put my psychologicals, just for you to know. And we have another leftover from a gap, so it seems probably amplified. We're looking at 56.86, 56.54. So you see we have a wide array of supports and resistances that are left over and might play a role in our way to the downside. To the downside, we're talking about the bottom of the channel, talking about this range, which depends how quickly we're going to make it. The quicker, the lower the point will be, because the trend is ascending. Thus, the slower it will be, the higher the point. Makes sense if you think about it, right? Right. Now, let's look at this. Yeah, we said daily bearish, daily quite bearish. Let's go to the weekly. I skipped over there for a second by accident, so let's go to the weekly. The weekly at face value appears to be bullish, but arguable. We're starting to see some sketchiness here, and if the trend will turn around right here below the 80%, this is very indicative of an actual downtrend on the overarching sort of scale of things, and this could be actually indicative of a beginning what we're looking for. I have expected this to start correcting actually at the lower point. I'm actually impressed to how high we got, but we know the market can be remain irrational longer than we can stay solvent, right? We've heard that, and we know that from before. Monthly, there's no surprises, boys and girls. This one, once it starts failing, that's when the market truly gonna start feeling the heat. We know that's basically around the corner. We have 8 days and 1 hour before the change of this overarching structure, supposedly. We'll see. Right now it is still at face value bullish, but we're going to be far clearer about things potentially in 8 days, unless they will be able to drag it out even further, closer to elections, which I am so amazed. I've said this in my previous videos, and I will admit, I remember thinking that by the middle of the year, the market will crash. Will no longer be able to carry this nonsense until elections, and we ended up breaking. We ended up breaking, and the reality ended up being that none of it happened. The market was able to run far further and far higher than my expectation was. That is why, boys and girls, those who think that technical analysis is about predicting a particular time point, right? Or timing the market, as most people like to say, it cannot be further from the truth. It is not about timing the market. It's about locating supports and resistances and understanding where the momentum is going to fail or when we're going to have a bullish rally based upon accumulated momentum, which is based upon expectation, which is based upon our psychological perception of the market. Remember, it's all correlated to one another. Okay? So technicals do not live in a vacuum, just the opposite. Now, we can go further, but it's meaningless, boys and girls. Remember, we are having the same phenomenon on the 3 months, which I've said I've expected this to break slightly earlier, kind of giving us this clearer downwards momentum, but it's not surprising that we're able to run further. Basically, we've seen it on the smaller time frames. If we can drag out more and more bullishness on the smaller time frames, remember, eventually it will show on the larger time frames, right? On the quarter, especially because it was just closed recently, well, we can say, well, a month ago. So we have 2 more months and 9 more days to have this very candlestick lock in and start a movement to the downside. So it's not that interesting for us to stare at that stuff, all right? I think we kind of figured everything out. Let's see how the market just closed. Basically, we've had a significant movement to the downside, leftover gap, which we already spoke about earlier, and we see the potential of it getting closed easily in the following days. And maybe even, the market will rally significantly in post-market and will end up actually, opening somewhere inside the gap, then sustaining some more of that bullish momentum, closing the gap. Imagine the market can easily open tomorrow right here, having a rally over the reports that we're having, close potentially somewhere back inside, not even closing the gap, right? Doing kind of something like this, and then eventually within a day or two closing it and then reaching back down, if that will be the continuation of the trend, but easily closing that gap. So that we're expecting on the smaller time frames. We have to be objective about things, regardless of my position. We don't care about my position, we care about what the market is showing. That is that. Alrighty. Let's do tickers, I think. I mean, let's do what you guys don't swarm it. Slow and steady, because otherwise we're not going to get to everybody. You know what it is, and I'm going to get confused. It's going to be a mess. We don't want that. Right. Now, let's say hello to anybody who I didn't say hello to. Piotr, bonjour, my friend. Bonjour. Leah is also French. Bonjour. We have a couple of French people right here. I'm back. Who didn't smash the like? Yeah, I agree with Christoph right there. Smash the like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that beautiful stuff. Make sure you're still subscribed and have the notifications on, because YouTube seems not to like me. In fact, we will learn how much YouTube does not like me. I don't know why. It's not really doing an effort to help me out grow my channel. You can see that I'm probably not appearing in too many people's feed. It is what it is. I'm not mad about it. I'm more disappointed. They prefer to show all sorts of nonsense rather than this sort of value. Hey, Greg, your explanation is very in-depth, I believe you were trying to say, and helped me improving knowledge. Thanks so much. I am glad to hear that, Leah. I do try my best. Why did I skip that far away? I'm pretty sure I missed a whole bunch of stuff. Clean, the 150 hour reacted very correct there, Black. I should probably say Mamba. People will get hateful and stuff. Where? I probably missed something. I think there's another high I'm making, maybe. Yeah, absolutely. Easy, Mamba. Absolutely, no problem. I can totally see that happening. Crazy day today. Stocks went up and down heavily. and closing nearly all downwards. What a mental ride. Absolutely, Leah. Don't forget, with reports coming up right now, the market can benefit from rallying individual assets and closing back to these highs that we had right before. So I'll say this. I'm a proponent of a big correction, yes, but I'm also going to say when it's going to start, we're clearly going to see it, and there will be no arguments about. No one will be confused about whether it is what it is, kind of thing, right? Well, some people will still be, biased and will pretend that's not the case, but easily, absolutely easily. It was a break and retest 55800 we're talking about for my puts. I see. All right, so you're playing options there. Not my court, but absolutely, you do your thing. More power to you. The more money you make, just be very, very careful. Trading is very difficult, as we all agree. Can you maybe explain the difference? Those time frames. I'm confused about that term, but those time frames, I do not clearly understand their value on a chart analysis. Imagine the time frames serve you in a way because they create they engulf or bring together all the price action that happened during a period of time. In this instance, per time frame that we're switching, every candlestick is representative of that time frame, meaning, for example, on the 4 hours, every one will be every single candlestick will be 4 hours, right? This candlestick is representative of 4 hours. And if we say that based upon the structures right here, first of all, we kind of admit and say that our abilities of prediction are limited. And so we can predict based upon the existence structure, right? The already going direction, several candlesticks, 2, 3, 4, maybe for, the better we get, right? But at the same time, we say we cannot predict too far, right? It's going to be difficult for us. But if you think about it, the understanding of what the market potentially will do several candlesticks forward on the 4-hour time frame, although being short range, right, for the 4-hourly chart, it is actually long range. You see how that circle even became larger on the smaller time frame. Pardon me. Give me 1 second, boys and girls. Give me a second to clear my throat. Definitely. Okay, I'm good. I'm back. So you see, the more you go further, the more it expands, and the more you understand that what you're able to predict, the further, the larger the time frame is, the further out you're actually able to predict on the smaller time frames. So if you really remember the context of what you've seen prior to moving to the next larger time frame, it will give you an idea, right, of what is the bigger picture. If you walk up to something too close, you might get confused and will have an illusion. For example, if you're too preoccupied by this upwards trend, you're gonna not realize that the market is about to spill over on the larger trends. You see, so it's very important not to get hyper focused, right, and have almost like have blinds like a horse does, right, that block him from seeing anything outside of what what's in front of him, and then you not realize you're about to fall off a cliff. And to see that you're about to fall off a cliff, you need to zoom out. To zoom out, you go to a larger time frame. You see, so they basically serve one another in a way, or at least, they serve us to read better into larger and smaller time frames and to understand clearer what we're actually seeing, that is. Okay? Alrighty, we've covered that. I hope that was a good answer for you. Clarified better why and how we're doing what we're doing and bring and explain the difference. Okay, we've done that. I should have, moron, I didn't notice. That will be an opportunity to buy some extra purchase. Absolutely, yeah. We're just not buying today. Today's not necessarily the best day, especially if we want to keep our averages lower instead of just increasing for no good reason. A lot to clean. Yeah, a lot to clean. That's true. A lot to clean. I do tend to mess up the charts really quickly. I don't think about it much. It's more about, being able to convey the point quicker and better. Alrighty, so what are we looking at? Now I'm finally making it back to the bonjour. That will be an opportunity now. We said 150 hourly. React nice. Yes, we said bonjour, bonjour. I'm back. Who didn't like All right. Whoever doesn't smash the like button, Biden will show up at his house when you're asleep and is gonna sniff you. Right? He's gonna sniff you very dangerously. You know Biden likes sniffing people. I'm gonna wake up to a big nose sniffing you. Yeah. Like you. I hope so, boys and girls. I hope you did smash the like. I tremendously would appreciate it if you would. It will help me a lot in the channel. And since YouTube really refusing to help me monetize my channel, I'm not even getting paid for this stuff. So yeah, 27 watching and 14 likes. Alex, you're absolutely on point. What is this? No, sometimes you need to refresh the video to see exactly how many likes are there. Where's your appreciation, guys? We can do better. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, boys and girls. Some people maybe think I'm wrong. Maybe think I'm wrong, and they want to smash the dislike. Any interaction is good at the end of the day. Maybe some people think I'm insane. It's their own right. It's all good. We're not upset at anybody. Well, not French, actually Greek. Everybody's welcome here, madam. Everybody's welcome. Polish boy here. Yee. Master is polishing. Master in stocks polishing. Very nice. Lianera, cool. Coming to Greek next week. Greece is always on vacation. These guys know how to. If you want to learn how to vacate, to how to do vacation properly, learn from the Greek. They're basically in a continuous vacation. Hope you will like it. All right. Tesla bouncing. Is Tesla bouncing? I know we've been below the trend line. Just yesterday, like I told you, we're going to break below the diagonal line. And there we go. I mean, just the other day I was saying, and here we are, and testing that 213.15 that I said. Did we stop at the 17 like I said? Kinda-ish. I mean, here it is, right? It played its role. We can see it did do its thing. Come on, help me. Come on, help me, market. Play with me. Come on, play ball, brother. Come on, there we go. Ish. Of course, we had some slippage. Not that abnormal, but we know it was actually 17. Let's just like that. Alrighty, let's go. Actually, I might be mistaken. It's a bit no. The 1777 is right. So there it is. So yeah, it's the 17. There we go. We had that test. We had it a couple of times actually. Now that I'm looking at it here, it got retested perfectly right here. Retested perfectly right here. So we're good. We've done that. We ended up driving right below this beautiful thing. And I mean, we are kind of running out of bearish momentum, I would assume. Yep. Makes sense. I mean, squeezing such a squeeze, not going to be surprised if it will show. Plus, it probably comes through from the indices, so not all that surprising. I mean, we're probably going to have some form of a correction, and here it is. It's appearing on the smaller time frame. So on the larger time frame right here, if you are zooming in, you're going to see that, the bulls took some dominance to have a bit of a cool off. Still bearish at face value. So yeah, I mean, I think I've predicted this. I think I've told you that we're probably going to have some form of a false positive right here, but we don't know. Maybe it will result in a true positive, right? We don't really know what's going on. We're still in oversold territory. So my argument is that we're going to proceed. It has not readjusted. I know it's annoying. It does that sometimes. The DEM line. Yeah. Those who don't know what I'm talking about the DEM line. It sort of readjusts back and forth. Even larger time frames we're gonna be soon. What is that? 209. It's unadjusted. Come on, readjust yourself. Thing. because it's, you see, it's the longer term duration trend. Those who wonder what is that? What is that thing? Right, it's that thing, you see, it just went slimmer, right? That thing is that our longer duration trend. I've mentioned how we're gonna break right below it and end up retesting it. Nice. I just told you, I think the other day, we're gonna cross back towards these, and this will end up being our S1, S2, which is 165. What is that? 165. 63 right there, right? So we're gonna have that, and our S3 we said is 106.84. It's not like that's 1, 2, 3 and we're there. No, that's a very long, tedious process of retesting every single step of of the way, right? And that means we're potentially going to retest a lot of this, that S1, that same one we're marking here. A lot of retests afterwards on the S2, and until we eventually make it to that S3, which resides at around 106. You might as well call it 100, right? That's that. Alrighty, that's Tesla. But again, we're not biased. We know it will follow the market, and if the market will be more bullish than bearish, then yeah, we're gonna see a lot more bullish momentum than bearish momentum. It is what it is. Right. Tesla is bouncing on the preparation for the earnings. What am I doing? God damn it! So much crap on the chart. Just insane. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Insane in the Cheburashka. Insane and Cheburashka. Cheburashka is a little character in Russian folklore thingy, sort of, or whatever character on television. It's this little monkey thing. Those who know. So Insane and the Cheburashka. Pinky and the Crocodile Giana. Okay. Yeah. So this is it. This is it for us. You can see by the way, you can see how accurate the line is. The market once meeting that support, you can see how clearly we were testing it very distinctively, right? We can see that every test here was absolutely accurate, right? So it is pretty clear what we were doing here, right? It's not bullshit. And it's not bullshit talking about this 213.15. All of these are correct. You like it, don't like it, don't care. It is what it is. And we're bearish. So yeah, expect to touchy that line many more times. Okay, we're gonna do some more touchy right there. Ready. That's that. What where let's see what where information is very in depth. I'm trying to keep up with what did I miss? Reflection very in depth and hunt me. Yeah, I read that. So what did I miss? That's not bouncing. We said, let's see. It's too early to say. I wouldn't talk about Tesla before tomorrow. I mean, we all understand that anything about Tesla is redundant to look at before tomorrow happens, right? Here it is. Here's the bounce. You could have seen it right here on the side, but yeah. This could be very early to judge. Let's see how things will look once tomorrow settles. Still very bearish, no matter how we flip it. Alrighty, let's get Elon speaking. You know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen when Elon opens his mouth. Sadly, this man cannot not but say the wrong thing. Plus, we're not worried. We know where. In fact, it's good for us. We're expecting to close a gap here, so all shebang shebang, right? All good. Absolutely, yeah, my pleasure. I don't know what is going on with Tesla. What do you mean? What do you mean, Arnon? You of all people, what is that? You should know craziness, bounciness, closing the gapiness, and then bounciness back downness, and we know exactly what's going on. No surprises for us. Arnon Ullman related to earnings. Yeah, no, absolutely. Wait, tomorrow, not today. I mean, you're talking. Wait, we're tonight. It's tonight, right? It's at night. We're having it tonight. Tonight. Now, where? Tesla earnings. Yes, absolutely. Um, Vasilin Gavrilov, why did you delete? No problem. If it is not a bad message, I don't mind. We're gonna answer all questions. All questions good, other than the ones that are not good. Expending time, good to see you here. Shout out to you. Scott Monosov, good to see you here as well. Haven't seen you here in a couple of lives. Good to see you around. Veselin Gavrilov, Veselin. Quite a unique name. Slavic, obviously, I would say. Probably something. I'm waiting for investing start for Tesla. Hope the stock market will give me a nice starting point tomorrow. Leah, you are very don't think of that in a point of view of I hope it'll give me tomorrow. Remember, the market doesn't care about how how urgent it is for you and your retirement plan and none of that stuff. The market is just that's not what it cares about, basically. So don't try to basically time it. There's a various ways in which I can explain it and explain why there are different ways of trying to time the market. They're actually different, but at the end of it all, they're all bad. Don't try to time the market. Find the correct price ranges, find the momentum, understand what is far more likely to happen based upon the psychology, because the market is all based upon mass psychology. It's all about that. I promise you, the more you understand mass psychology better, the better you can have your ear to the ground, the better you will understand what the market is truly doing. Of course, technical analysis, both types. Again, if we're looking at understanding the value of a company and going through the balance sheet, all of it, if it's understanding the fundamental story of the company, all of it plays into a singular equation to what the asset is doing. It would be very, very, very wise to learn at least on the basis of have the foundation of all these skill sets, and that will truly allow you to manage your portfolio properly. And remember, nobody will manage your portfolio better than you will for yourself. That is just the real reality of the world. That is it. Alrighty. That's not be a surprise. Wait, we already have the numbers? Are you sure? No way. No. Thomas, are you sure we have numbers already? That's very early. We usually get them far later. Are you sure? Boys, girls, are we having numbers? I like to trust it when we have the numbers right here on the trading view. That's what I really, really trust it. Let's see what you're saying, though. I'm curious. You're saying... So, wait. How many were like, yes, surprise of 24%. That is crazy. That is good for Tesla. Remember, all of these will not save Tesla if correction is coming. Sadly, it is what it is. But it's good to see. I am a big bull on Tesla, and I really, really like Tesla, and I really believe Elon is our path to the future. And the people who don't like him don't understand that the dude is just literally he's like the dude is basically, replacing the dirty diaper on a baby, and we're that baby, and instead of being grateful and being quiet, we're kicking and throwing poop at him as he goes, right? It's just kind of crazy how humanity treats him. And I'm so grateful to Trump being the amazing human being that he is, and smart as he is, to actually take somebody like Elon and involve him in his endeavors further, if he does take the presidency. It will be phenomenal, in my opinion. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm very excited about this partnership between the two. So you guys are saying the numbers are out? I see. Okay. Yes, number was lowered by 30% sneakily. But that's okay, Christoph. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It still is a good run for Tesla. Tesla is the future, and if you don't like it, you're just blind. It is what it is. And I'm not saying that individually to you, Christoph. I'm just saying it for what it is. Let's see. Hello there, Mama. Hello, hello, hello. I'm grateful you joining in. Just make sure you are all good in terms of you're not busy. Don't worry. I'm never gonna take it personally if you cannot show up. I love you all the same. You're still the best mod on the planet. Christoph, I'm sorry, it is what it is. You're right. You come right after. Number two. Best number two, I promise. I'm so happy to see you here. Absolutely. I'm happy to see all of you here, actually. Boys and girls, everyone who takes the choice to join me and hang out in the lives, regardless, regardless whether we're doing in the evening or the morning, regardless whether you're from, whether you like my face, don't like my face, don't like my theory, my thesis, analysis. I'm tremendously grateful for all of you joining in and hanging out with us. Ori Dekel, what happened with Palantir on After Hours? Let's take a look at Palantir. Why not, Ori? Ori, what are you saying to us? First of all, let's look at how the S&P moving since market close. I mean, we're kind of correcting, so I'm not that surprised. We're having a bit of a bullish momentum rally right there. It is a bit impressive. I mean, with all this movement to the downside, momentum was pointing to the upside. We basically made it to absolute bottom, started correcting to the upside. Not all that surprising. We were able to squeeze out just a little bit more. Remember what we say. Once we get into overbought territory, the effect amplifies. And here it is. You can literally see how it happened right there. All in all, you actually have more. I mean, this is clearly very bullish, right? Probably plays off of the back of on the back of Tesla. And we know the people are oftentimes similar type of investors. Jim Cramer bullish on Palantir, but is the stock, that's 2 hours ago, is the stock winning streak to is the stock's winning streak too hot? Sam Altman pushes his nuclear startup. Oklo busts out. I'm not sure how that's related to Palantir. Maybe there's some relation to Palantir right there. Jim Cramer's says hold on to Palantir. Let them walk up. Warns that what? Trevor. Okay. Trevor Therapeutics is losing a ton of money. Okay, so that is unrelated. Blah blah blah. Palantir related. Let's see. That's Palantir related. Palantir Technologies Incorporated. Palantir increases despite market slip. Here's what you need to know. Let's see what they were saying about this. That's a trading session. Palantir Technologies Incorporated. Palantir closed at $42.94, marking a plus 0.56% move from the previous day. The stock outpaced the S&P daily loss of 0.05%. On the other hand, yeah, very impressive. That actually goes to show that the momentum, this actually, the way you read into this is pretty beautiful, is that Palantir had so much buying that it was able to outperform the bearish momentum that came from the indices, the S&P. This is a rare occurrence. I'm just gonna straight up forward say this is a rare occurrence, something that often doesn't happen. I recommend taking a look at this article. Looks like there's more meat to this. Yeah, I'm sure there's more stuff to this. I'm not gonna run through the whole thing. Yeah, Palantir is probably rallying on the back of Tesla. I'm not seeing any reason other than that. Same community, same sort of investors. People are having a good day. They're probably seeing Tesla rallying right now. They're thinking, oh, great, now is the time. Rally is upon us. Correction, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're buy the dip mentality, Ori. I think that covers it. It's very much buy the dip mentality. Look like many smashed the like already. Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you all of you who showed up and smashed the like and participate and just listen. Doesn't matter. I'm grateful to all of you. This community is what it is because of you. Without you guys, it's just me talking to the microphone. You know. What a comparison with that. Hey, it is what it is. All right, Christoph, I love to see the likes. No, absolutely, Mama. I promise you, I love to see the likes as well. Nickel Palantir, they announced a new partnership with L3 Harris. Could be taking a big portion of that. Yeah, new deals always push the stock higher. Oftentimes it's, it's very temporary stuff, but could absolutely be. Maybe that's why Jim Cramer even said what he said, and that could be part of his sentiment, right? But we know Jim Cramer flip-flops like a pancake, so let's not... come on, let's get overexcited about this. People are getting excited about rallies, corrections. I'm like, guys, this is nothing. It's just us sitting in the same ranges and going up and down, up and down. And people... You know who benefits from this? Traders. And I'm not telling you all just go trade. No, if you don't know how to, don't. And in fact, even not all my students know how to. Not everyone learns technical analysis for the purpose of trading, right? It's like people will, technical analysis only for day trading and scalping. No, that cannot be further from the truth, right? It's almost like saying, well, I drive only once a year. I don't need to have a driver's license, know really how to drive. That's not how shit works. I'm sorry, right? You do actually need to, even if you drive once a year, once a month, every day, if you're a race car driver, a taxi driver, just a regular person, you need to have a driver's license. Maybe, in other words, to compare it again, you do need that skill, even if you do use it from time to time. Everyone needs it. And more so, the day traders just need that on a higher level, in fact. So people oftentimes really misuse the wrong tools and the wrong time frames. That's why I teach one-on-one technical analysis. Minding you, by the way, I still have one spot. Those who are interested, DM me on Discord and we can talk about it. I'll give you the details and so forth. And that is that. Those who are just interested in the Patreon, shout out to the Patreon that because a lot of people moved from being patrons, moved to being students, we now have many more spots. We have 64 open spots. Mind you that this gives you access to the Discord on the members partition, the Zoom, the four Zoom meetings that we have on a weekly basis. We have 4 every month. Morsuit gives you a lot more extras from me, hanging out with me. I pretty much hang out every day on the open forum. You can just approach me and ask me a question. I'll be more than happy to answer and go over and actually show everybody who hangs out there. If you want something more private, please feel free to ask. I'll hang out with you for a couple of minutes and help you out with whatever that you want. That is how you get access to me on the daily basis. I do not hang out in the public all that much. We do join the public, we do hang out, but a little less. That's how you get pretty much daily access to me. Another awesome perks. I'm not here to sell the thing. If you want to join and take the benefit from the community, cool beans. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm a shitty salesman, and it's a great community. I've built it with my both own two hands with Tom, and Tom put tremendous amount of money and effort into it. We were just basically having 20,000 people there. We had to do some cleanups, so now we're slightly down, more like 17 and a half ish kind of, but it doesn't matter. We cleaned up people who were not around apparently. So the Discord is gigantic. There's somebody there 24/7 discussing all sorts of things. I highly recommend, and the way to make it there is through the Patreon. Right, now we're done with the shameless plugs. By the way, all the links are in the chat right now. Notice Nanny's just posted all the links. If it's Discord and Patreon, this is how you get all these wonderful things. And Zoom calls and all sorts of great stuff we do, as I said, in the community. Giveaways and all sorts of great stuff. All right, now. By the way, do we have anybody here from the public? Anybody here from the public who didn't yet get a temporary role in the yesterday's giveaway? If we have anybody here from the public, make yourself known. Let's look at what's going on here now. Could you look at Oklo? Yeah, of course we can look at Oklo. What is the problem? We can look at anything you want, ladies and gentlemen. Oklo, you said. Wait, right? I think I'm messing something up. You said you want... Where was that? Fuck my life. I say too many F's. I'm gonna be getting in trouble right there. We said... Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was correct. I was right. It is... yeah. Right. Alrighty. So here is Uklu. Let's stick it to Uklu. What is Uklu? Yeah, am I gonna get any data? Yeah, I will. Okay. Okay. No data. No data. No data. Does it look like that? What is this? What is the time? No? That looks not great. That is not looking great. Why did that happen? What was the shtick? What was the shtick? No, that individual news. I believe that happened on the back of something. Who asked this? Who asked for this? This is Thomas. Talk to me on Discord. Let's take a look at this on Discord. Reach out to me on Discord. don't just reach out to me, DM me, and expect me to chase you. No, 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 no. The way it works is if you see me on the open forum, right? You join in, you tell me, hi, remember, I'm Thomas. I wanted to ask about this and that. And we go and take a look at it together or in the open if you want to. This is, I need to do a deeper dive into this. It looks negative. At face value, I don't like how it looks like. It looks not great. It looks like you're in for a correction. But Thomas, reach out to me and we will look at this together. All right? Palantir Nanny, we are currently 43.36. We're still within the range of 43.36, 41.93. We had the exception of breaking above onto the ceiling of the 43.36 and thus having some potential of making to the 45. Right now, I would argue that if anything, I mean, wait for it. It's coming. It's coming, right? You see, we're just about to make this happen. That's your daily. So it's about to happen. Wait for it. Right? We understand each other. We all understand each other. We all understand each other. I believe we all understand each other. We all understand each other. Alrighty. Kramer made still signal. I knew somebody's gonna say that, Christoph. Of course, yeah. It's Kramer is such a yeah. Just you know what the best thing is? Just ignore it. Just don't listen. I mean, honestly, just don't put. Maybe it's your awareness of what he says makes you feel as if I don't know. Kramer is such a conundrum on its own. Palantir has a new relationship with L3 Harris. Yeah, we've covered that. Yeah, that could be the play. Yes, that's true. Yeah, do opposite of Kramer. Yeah, I mean, but not always. I mean, that's the issue. It doesn't always work like that. Okay, in which direction Headless Chicken is running? Leah, is that reference to the South Park episode? If that's so, then absolutely legendary. Just run opposite from what the Kramer is running there. That's. No, I think Leah's referring to the South Park episode where they make fun of the stock market and in general, how's it all being handled. I'll be on my way. Alrighty. Thank you, Tesla. Traded Tesla and out now. Let's see. By the way, that is good that you inform me again. So. Revenue 1.113 surprise with the downside. That's just a batch of millions, not a big deal. Okay. Not great, but not a big deal. And on the earnings side, a 21.33 surprise. Absolutely impressive. Absolutely killed it. Let's look at this in the context of things. So. No, I don't feel it and still. Wait, I didn't want this. I wanted this and I wanted this. Right, so. Right. No, it's the quarter two. So we're going to have, yeah. Okay, that's going to be quite decent. And blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we're probably going to see a rally closing of the gap and only then a correction, a retracement back to that trend line on which we were dancing and testing all along, right? This diagonal black line. So, right, South Park moment, it's legendary. A lot of people didn't see it. So, Nvidia, let's look at Nvidia. I almost forgot about Nvidia. Oh my God, Leah, thank you for reminding me. Nvidia sucks. Because it will pull back up because it has this shitty gap. And yeah, I mean, expect this in the near term future. So am I going to be surprised that it's in tandem with the market? No, I'm not going to be surprised at all whatsoever. It's probably going to do that relatively soon. Yeah, I'm not gonna be all that surprised. We're still in bullish territory, still have more squeeze out. Yeah. Uh, Following next couple of days, if not tomorrow. Yeah. So that's that. Then we can talk. Look, uh, it doesn't mean we're not going to have leftover gaps when the market does break, and it could happen surprisingly so that we'll go through this process before we actually close the gap. I just gonna be surprised. We dragged it out all the way to here. Let's assume that they will allow elections at least to run smoothly, so the entire candidacy, or Biden's candidacy, could be remembered as hypothetically, supposedly a good one, at least on paper, right? Again, I do think I have a weird suspicion that it has a lot to do with politics, and there's a lot of shitty stuff, stinky stuff going on this time around. I'm sorry, it is what it is. I'm just gonna be straightforward with you. This time around, stuff stinks a little bit, and I don't know how much I trust. Yeah, some of the stuff, if I can say that. Alrighty. GN or GMLI. Oh, whoa. You went bananas there, buddy. Slow down. And, all-time high now. Da, da, da. Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm not going to be surprised. Not going to be surprised. Where are we now? Wait, what? Wait, what? What? That's impressive. That is impressive for a single run. For a single run. Absolutely. What? Absolutely impressive. Let's see. So we've closed the gap. Well, we closed the gap. Everything. We are right here. Shit, we're really high. We really got high. Let's see where we're gonna end the night at. Let's see. Sadly, I do not think this entire rally will be retained. You're probably gonna break back down somewhere lower. That's kind of a feeling I got there. Just have a suspicious feeling. Suspicious good feeling. Right? Right. Never forget NVIDIA. That's true. So, okay, wait. I need to go DM Greg to inquire about his TA Academy. That is correct. Tom, Greg, and mods, do not initiate DMs. Boys and girls, be very careful. We have implemented several new security measures on our Discord. Things look a little bit cleaner and less attempts on our members, but still keep your keep your guard up and be aware that scammers do try to pretend to be both myself and Tom and even our moderators and admins, and so be very, very attentive. Our staff will not reach out to you out of nowhere. Sometimes, very rarely, we might, but definitely not about cryptocurrencies or brokerages or none of that bullshit. And any inquiries that require any sort of payment or anything of that sort, or signing up to anything, it's not going to show up out of the blue. You're not going to be caught off guard. It's like where these guys showed up from. That's something we don't do. Mama, thank you for reminding me about that one. Mm-hmm. Do I have to say anything about that one, Mamba? I think you're clear about this one, right? I'm curious. Huh. Actually, I mean, that's an easy one. You should just grab your fib and do this. See what you can see. And switch back from logarithmic, otherwise it will be disgusting. And yeah, that is not all that surprising. So here are your important ranges, at least some of them. It's not a cheat code. You're missing a lot of stuff here. But yeah, user 146.26, 180 to 189, 52. Wait, are you? Are you? No, you're not. When were you? Just I see. Mm-hmm. 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 Not great, but better. Mm-hmm. I see. I see. Look, I am not your auntie. I will tell you that this one clearly will test your range. Okay, so you are up, but not for a long time. You are 189. You are that beautiful range that you're testing currently. You are also 180, especially 180. Right now, you're technically 180.07, 189.52, and then you're 146.26. And if you're really unlucky, you're 112.45. But that is if you're really unlucky and everything goes to poop. If you're really lucky, you're gonna get caught up anywhere between 146.26 and eventually slightly lower, but not really ever making it to the 112, just kind of in between. In fact, I'll probably argue this thing is not coincidental all that much. Long story short, you have a support resistance right there-ish. Potentially, that makes sense. That's where it resides. Probably, in fact, the other end is probably like that. Just so you can see that kind of thing. Yeah, that's the so, but it's not tomorrow, right? You still have a lot of upside, but eventually it will spill over. But the future of it is good. This is like long-term stuff. This is like, look, eventually it will pay out. I'm not saying you're probably not gonna enjoy this rally. This is a fool's errand, and I cannot prove it to you right now. I said I think you're gonna be more like this, if anything. How long will it take? It might take a while. I'm not exaggerating for the yeah. No, don't. It might be long. I just think this one is false. Not fake. It's just artificial conditions, if you will. I hope that helps. All right. I hope we were gone through that. Now. Wait, didn't we just look at this the other day? I think I've seen this before just recently. Just the other day, we checked this out. Haven't we? Don't care. '89. I'm 86. I'm a bit older than this. And yeah, alrighty. I do like the spell. I do like the location. That is a good thing. Okay. I'm pretty sure we looked at this. I'm fairly certain. And I think we already discussed this. And you obviously are out of bounds on the monthly, which means you will be testing back again. Your momentum is squeezing out, so not necessarily tomorrow, today, but soon. You have a bit more bullish right there, so you might actually trace back, retest that 95-ish again area, above the 90, basically, high nines. Since you're all that close to 100, I'm not gonna be surprised if the market will actually want to taste the 100, right? And post the 100, you are very much susceptible to breakage. Very often, the market, what it does, it misleads you and creates this false high that is above the 100, allowing you to think that it's gonna continue going up, and then it just, so it's a double top bull trap. So yeah, be very careful. Potentially could be. I'm not saying it is, but I am definitely saying that what I think it might pan out to be. And I definitely didn't give it the right time frame. It's exaggerated significantly. I'm just giving you an idea of how things may play out. In fact, so much so that we're already looking sort of like right this structure, right? So all you have to do is to be really precise and give it a better idea. It's like more like this, right? Again, which gives you roughly these 100, maybe some slippage, and bam. Potentially retest slippage over to the shorter term trend and breakdown. So be very careful with this one. Mamba, MLI. Müller. Oh, Mr. Müller. Mr. Schmister. Mr. Schmister. Let's see what Müller Industries do. Are you shitting me? But Mamba, are you looking for all the companies that are overbought and like, you know? Did you look for these especially? None of them look all that great, I gotta say. I mean, you are going for this is just horrible. I would not be. I would not be buying this. I would not be buying this. You are so going for a correction on this one. And it is going to be so unpleasant. Closing, retesting gaps back and forth. I wouldn't know. I would just stay away and until it drops to maybe half the price. Like I'm talking like 35-ish area, potentially leaving that lower gap on open. Like yeah, don't talk to me before I'm 35 is a good buy. That's all I'm gonna say about this stock. Like it, don't like it. It will be going for a correction. This is so going for a correction. This is just gonna be so unpleasant. Absolutely. You can, it's gonna be a smart thing to start picking it up at like 40-ish, right? Just not to wait for 35, you might get screwed. But I would basically, my DCA into this would have been like 40 and 30, 40 and lower. 40 and anything lower. I have money, good, buy in. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would not be. I would not be. This is not. Yeah. I would not be diving into this right now. I would be staying away. It is what it is. It is what it is. Call me crazy. I don't mind. I'm fine. Not offended. 231. Let's see. Let's see how that craziness looks like. Come on, expand. Wow. Impressive. Damn impressive. Tilray. I'm not a big fan of Tilray, but we can take a look at that. Chris, what are you saying there? There was some news about nuclear energy last week with Oklo. Right. We remember. I remember we spoke about this. I think that's when we spoke about it. What about Nvidia? We checked Nvidia. What about Moo? We might check Moo. Moo. Okay. Wait, there was more something before. Tilray. Gotta say, I do love the idea we can do a lot of amazing things with cannabis. I just am not a big fan of cannabis assets, and I will try to give it an objective look, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of these sort of companies. There's a reason. You're scraping bottom, obviously. Even a blind man can see this. If you're trading this, it's not such a bad idea. I already see that. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like a nice spot to start buying in a little bit so you can sell it at but it's trading. This is trading. This is for traders, and yeah, be very careful. Not a big fan. Not a big fan of this. I would think to sink my money into something else, unless this is like a, fund stock that you just kind of, don't mind, if you will. I'm not a big fan. Sorry, I'm gonna be honest. Look, I do love cannabis, and I do love the whole idea what we can do with it and all that, but I'm not a big fan of the companies. I'm just sorry. It is what it is. The companies are not great. They have a lot of hurdles ahead of them, and big pharma are basically taking over. Thoughts on Ford? Yes, right. Right. Thank you for reminding me. I always tend to forget. We're gonna do that, then we're gonna do Moo. Did you draw a Lambo on that Tesla chart? Could absolutely be, Christoph. That was the plan. Why not Tesla Roadster? Tesla Roadster looks very, Lambo-ish in a way, or Ferrari-ish, I guess. Depends how you want to see it. Low, low, narrow, all that great stuff. Let's see what we see on Ford. I'm not a big Ford hater, by the way. I'm not gonna lie. I actually do like their 150 truck, the Lightning variant, the lots of good stuff from Ford. Ford are not that bad. I'm not a hater. Sorry, people like, if you like this, so you must be hating Ford. No, I love Fords. Ford GT is a legendary car. If you don't like the Ford GT, you better go see a doctor. There's something wrong with you. Doesn't matter who you are, what sex you are, which planet you're off from. If you don't like the Ford GT, just, I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. A legendary car, just sexy, screams power. It's just, yeah, just beautiful car. And many other practical cars. Ford are awesome. As a stock, they're kind of shitty, but cars are good. I mean, this is not, Ford are not having a pleasant time. Ford are not having a pleasant time whatsoever. Yeah, I do foresee easily how you test this 724 again. For now, you're probably up to your SMA, which is 1303. Eventually back to 747. Just to retest 1897. So up, down, up very slowly. Eventually up. And then I don't know. Yeah. your eventually point is like, I mean, by the time you make it, it's gonna be like 20 or 19, if not even higher, like 20 probably, because you had the what is that? It's both probably. No, it's more like 19, so probably more 19ish, probably more 19, if anything. So yeah, up to like we said, more SMA here ish 13 something, 13's area. Down, maybe gradually 942, then 755, call it 760 if you want to by the time it does that. And ta. Alrighty, that's Ford. Not to the. I love Ford actually. Ford are awesome. Like I said, they're not that bad. Leo, you can ask me anytime when we are hanging out. I'll gladly talk about Ford with you. Okay, cool. I got to answer nannies as well. Yeah, no. I'm not gonna lie. I actually do like Ford. Vehicle industry. Yeah, well, look, yeah, we're not big on vehicle industry. I mean, people think we are because we like Tesla in the community and all that. It's a little bit more complex. Yeah, join us on Discord, as I say. Hang out. We'll explain. It's a little bit more convoluted than that. We love Tesla not because of its car company aspect. There's a lot more to Tesla, and that's not what we like it. So we're not big on the car industry. In fact, we're not that great. Not that big of fans otherwise, but I'm also not gonna lie and shy away from vehicle manufacturers I personally really like, and I do like Ford. It is what it is. As a stock, they're not great. Manufacturer-wise, they're good, which gives them. I mean, not well in my book. Not everyone are like me, but people who are more objective understand that Ford kind of probably have a future in the industry, one iteration or another. May they gonna need to be bailed out or not, it doesn't matter. Ford is a very red, white, and blue company. I really don't see them going anywhere. Crooked ass pattern. Almost forgot about that one. Right. I almost forgot about that one. The bird pattern. Please, everyone, smash the subscribe, like, and all that beautiful stuff. That's true. And right before we're about to finalize this, as I promised, we're about to do Moo. Let's do Moo. And here we're about to close the session because it's been forever and a bit. People probably need to get to do their stuff for like an hour post-market close. Even Tesla's getting bored with us sitting here and watching it and stuff and this and that. Moo. Let's do Moo. Momo, yes, makes sense. We've been far too high. Are we even gonna retrace back to the 150? Still, we're probably gonna retest it with everything. It's so yeah. Okay, so like that, your Mu is going down. It is. You like or don't like? I don't care. I say your Mu is going down. And it's probably gonna be retesting those hundreds quite extensively. Then all the way to 90s. That is an annoying price to have. Basically, just to put it into perception, right now you're stuck between the ranges of 100 and 70. I know it makes no sense. Call me crazy. That's my opinion. I'm allowed to have one. I'm just a dude on the internet. It is what it is. And so I do forecast Mu correcting back to 70. The question is, will it go lower? Right? So 70 it will do. It will close all these beautiful gaps that you have to close. But I don't know if it will actually go and close that one. I have a weird suspicion you're not going to see 52. Even when, I mean, maybe, but that's going to be the height of the market going. If you're going to get 52, that will correlate to the 33 on the SPX in my assessment ish area, right? It's not perfect, but kind of aligned. Yeah, no, Leo, absolutely. You can we can hang out and talk about Ford, and we will. You know, now I know that you're interested in Ford. We're definitely gonna talk about it. Your Mu is going down. Mu is going down. Absolutely, it will be going down. it's gonna be tedious as well because just like what we've done here and retested that longer range, and we're probably gonna be retesting it again, so it will be quite a tedious like you're gonna be all over this thing. Basically, you might be, and eventually only then break. This is gonna be ugly for you. Might be not necessarily all that quick. And then of course you're gonna have retests, and yeah, that's gonna be ugly. That is going to be ugly if at all. This is not, I don't know if it's even going to do that downwards trend fully, but if it will, that will correlate with the full correction all the way to 33 area. Which, of course, don't think of it as 50 and that's it. We're not allowed to break below 50 because Greg said the number 50. No, you're going to see 40s. If you break to 50, you're seeing 40s. You better understand that. So, yeah. Also, never financial advice. That is true. Never financial advice. No one will manage your portfolio better than you will. I've been wrong before. We're all humans. The fact that I've worked in the industry for a very long time, as an account manager, money manager, whatever you want to call it, does not mean I don't get shit wrong. In fact, lots of us get lots of things wrong all the time. So it's fine. It's fine. Even if you think that my opinions are crazy and you want to take a completely different path and follow what I often say, the way you should manage your portfolio. Imagine your kid walks up to you and says, Daddy, this is my portfolio, this is the situation, what should I do about it? The same advice you would give your kid about his portfolio and about every individual asset that he has should be the same advice you would give yourself. Simple. It is a very simple thing. Imagine you have a child. Imagine your child walked up to you and the portfolio you're looking at is not yours, it's his. How would you treat it? Do that. The market doesn't care. Exactly, Thomas, very good. Thank you for saying that. The market doesn't care about our retirement plan, whether we have plans for tomorrow, whether we want to buy this car, this house, this vacation, whatever. The market doesn't care. The market doesn't care about, just pretty much none of the stuff that is us, right? The market cares about what the market does. And that's pretty much what the market cares about, and the market is us at the same time. But right, the market cares about the market as an entity, but it doesn't care about us individually. That's just the proper way. I'm saddened to say, your prime minister or your government obviously doesn't want bad for you individually, but if we need to break a couple of eggs to bake a cake, it is what it is, kind of thing. Yes, market doesn't care about us. That's absolutely true. Doesn't care about how long our plans are, when, whom, how much, none of it. It's the market is its own entity and it's doing its own thing, and we better figure it out and ride it instead of trying to convince ourselves that we know better than the market, because that's not a winning scenario. And Car Boss 302 engine. I need to look that up because I'm so not knowledgeable as much as you, Nanny. I have no idea what that is. I really need to check it out. Bad relationship because I care a lot about the market. That we all do. We all do. That's the market is. Yeah. That's it's a one-sided relationship, if you want to call it that. Very good. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Very good description. All right, boys and girls, time for us to adjourn this. We've been here forever. Probably I took too much of your time. I hope you have a wonderful evening. I will see you on the next one. Don't forget, ladies and gents, tomorrow we have a Zoom call in the community. So don't miss out. The details are on the announcement channel. I'm talking to the members, not public. Public, you don't see that. Although I'm not mistaken, we're going to open tomorrow's meeting for the public as well. Could you look at, not now, please, Chris. Come on, man. No, man, come on, man. Come on. Let's do that. Let's do that real quick. Why did you remember the last second? Where were you before? I don't want to take a look at this. I take it back. We're gonna talk about this in our private time, Chris. This is not the sort of assets we want to look at. It is crypto related. It's problematic. It is a problematic asset. We're gonna look at this together if you want to, and I'm gonna criticize it. One to one. No, 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 Ori. I'm kind of more of an Americanized schedule. Not yet to sleep, sadly. I'm not yet back to our normal schedule, and you probably know I've been hearing flights all day. So I'll have you. No, 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 Chris. I mean, look, I just already started adjourning everything. That's why I was like, come on, let's do it prior before we get to the last minute of the call. And but I was willing to look at it. You saw. But because of the nature of the asset, I prefer I'm gonna curse at it in private. Especially knowing you and I will have some meetings, so we're gonna be able to trash talk about this quite a bit. Ori, thank you for staying all that late, brother. You go to sleep. I'm a crazy person. You have probably crazy stuff to wake up to in the morning. I sleep the morning, so. Okay, you have a wonderful night, my brother. Thank you for showing up, though, and hanging out with us for that late. Tremendously appreciate it. And anybody and everybody who will watch this, regardless, you all have a wonderful night and morning, afternoon, whatever you have, and I will see you all on the next one. I hope you had fun and you were able to get some value or knowledge or something out of this whole fun stuff we do here. Peace out, everybody. Bye-bye.